Now, the Greater Accra chairman of the New Patriotic Party has justified the decision by the party's National Executive Committee to allow only indigents to contest parliamentary primaries in constituencies along the coast in the Greater Accra region. The initiative, along with the plan to allow the party's 16 female members of parliament to contest the 2016 election unopposed, has proved very controversial, sparking protests around the country. Nyama Ashitihaba insists adopting the strategy will guarantee the party majority seats in parliament at the next election, and cautions the NPP risks losing more seats to its biggest opponent, the National Democratic Congress, if it rescinds its decision.
If you go to the northern region, you will see that almost all the people who are contesting the parliamentary seats are from that place. If you go to the upper north, upper east and upper west, it's the same. You go to the Volta region, it's the same. You go to Ashanti region, the number is very great. If it's not even 100%, it's about 90%. It is only in Greater Accra that now we have 14 members of parliament. Only 5 of them are GANs, 9 of them are non-GANs. And this is what...
Shouldn't matter if we're doing the work. Shouldn't matter.
Yes, it shouldn't...
Ethnicity play a role.
It shouldn't... It will not matter to you, but the traditionalists, it matters to them. They feel that they cannot deal with those other people. They find it difficult. You see, we have some customs and values that they will not allow them to be present. And therefore, some decisions will be taken that it will be too difficult to...
What role will the parliamentarian be playing in these customs and traditions that cannot be played by anyone?
No, you have to be dealing with the chief. You have to be dealing with maybe the high priest. You have to be dealing with all manner of people. You understand? When I was in Tema East, I was dealing with the people they call Woye, the fetish priestess all over. They would not like to deal with somebody who does not understand their tradition and customs. I was dealing with the chief priest, you understand, where you have to go. There is a room that you have to go. And luckily the chief priest is from my clan. There is a room. If you are not coming from my clan, you cannot enter that room. You understand? And you go there and a lot of discussions are taking place. They will tell you the things that they want in their traditional area. And there is more to it than...
Don't these things have implications on our political climate here in Ghana? If we want to practice our politics, we want to make lawmakers based on your ethnicity.
It is. Look, this thing, Obama is from Chicago, and in the elections he had the highest vote from Chicago. That it is. You must belong to a place. And you see, people are talking of all people stay in Accra. We know that. That is why we are not putting up the whole 34 constituencies. We are picking. If you go to Dadekotopo, where we have the La Kmawulomo, where we have the La Manche, this is a traditional area. Then you go and put Alidu at that place. You understand? The La Kmawulomo will not be able to sit with that person to tell him the history of La and why he should do this or that in the area. So we were very, very selective, selecting where we have traditional areas who are concerned about what has been happening over the years. So out of 34 constituencies, we selected only 14 and left 20.
Is this the winning plan for the NPP? So that out of the 14 parliamentarians you have now, you have more indigents, 14 parliamentarians from the coastal constituencies, so you'd have more millions.
Yes, we did it in 2000, and we won almost the coastal area. And then we went back. We stopped, and the people lost interest in us. They told me that, well, we were working with them, and then we left them, and well, they made new friends. and you come back and you want them to immediately to leave their friends, it's very difficult. So since that time, we've been in constant touch with them. I've been visiting them. I go to them, I discuss issues with them, they advise me, and I look at some of the advice that they've been given.
And a related development, the New Patriotic Party's female members in Parliament have lauded the party's decision to allow only women to challenge them at the party's upcoming primaries. Chairperson of the Minority Women's Caucus, Esther Obindapa, told journalists at a news conference in Parliament that though they welcome the National Executive Committee's decision, certain female MPs are ready to compete with anyone, including men who contest them.
We had nothing to do with this decision. It was decision of NEC. 70% of the people at the meeting agreed that that was their position, and that was what they were doing to help with the affirmative action. But when this was communicated, there has been harsh reaction. And we wanted to call this meeting to explain our position. We are not afraid of competitions. I've been through 3 primaries and won my seat convincingly. Others have won their primaries in the past. So we are not afraid of competition. We are prepared to face anybody. We are women of substance, and we can fight and win our seats. But for the benefit of our children and the next generation, the women that will be wanting to come to Parliament, that's why we supported the decision by NEC. We are thanking them for what they've done. It's a bold decision. Affirmative action is not easy, but they've taken that decision, and we are saying bravo to NEC.
Meanwhile, 2 of the most outspoken NPP female MPs, Eslo Wusu and Irina Toshiado, say they expected the opposition towards this decision. They have, however, urged the National Executive Committee of the NPP not to relent on its decision.
There has been a backlash against this policy because understandably there will be. And it wasn't explained and articulated to the populace so that they would understand why the party was seeking to do what they were doing. I expected the communications wing of the party to do the public education on this so that we would all support it. Unfortunately, we, the sitting members of Parliament, were told not to talk because we are the potential beneficiaries of this. I objected to it and said that if we can't explain this policy, who can? If the party won't explain why they are doing this, who will? And so, because of the vacuum in terms of information flow and discussing of the rationale behind it, we have had this backlash. But the party must have had a reason for taking this stand.
I hear a few people say that the decision is not good, should be rescinded and all that, and I disagree with it. I think that you don't take a decision and just with the slightest opposition you feel, then you just go back and rescind it. This decision was heavy in 2008. Nothing was done. 2012, nothing was done. This is the platform for 2016. This is the era when we must do something. Affirmative action must be born. It's been conceived. And any plan of anybody to try and take it out is murder, and it will cost this party a lot.
The People's National Convention has approved a roadmap ahead of its National Delegates Congress. This roadmap, among other things, urges the party to organize itself in order to strengthen it for the 2016 elections. The party also set timelines for constituency, regional and National Delegates Congress. We can now speak with General Secretary of the PNC, Bernard Mona. Mr. Mona, good morning.
Good morning, Madam.
Take us through some of the key decisions you arrived at after your meeting.
Come again.
I'm asking that you take us through the key decisions of this roadmap adopted by the party.
Thank you very much. Yesterday, the party had a National Standing Committee meeting. National Standing Committee is the third highest decision-making body of our party, and we took decisions on various levels of conferences that will culminate in the National Delegates Congress.
Mr. Mona, can you speak up? I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
If it stays this way, I'm sure I will.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I said that the National Standing Committee meeting took decisions on our party that will lead to a National Delegates Conference to be staged in the Upper West region between the 14th to the 16th of August 2015. But before then, we'll have to conclude our constituency conferences by the close of May 2015. And regional conferences will have to be done by 30th June 2015. And then we have the National Delegates Conference on the 14th to the 16th of August 2016. At the levels, we have decided at every level that filing fees that are supposed to be paid for the various levels, no woman contesting any of the positions will pay filing fees. For instance, flag bearer aspirants are to pay 10,000 Ghana cedis. If you are a female contestant, you pay no filing fee.
Why did you take that decision?
We took that decision because if you read the literature that has been churned out by gender groups, gender advocates, one of the major frustrations to women participation in our politics is that they do not have the logistics, they do not have the resources. And so we do not want that resource will be the reason for which the woman will not be able to participate in our process. So we are giving that as if you need to raise 10,000, whilst your male counterpart is raising 10,000 as filing fee, you possibly could be raising that one to be able to go around, maybe to make a poster, or maybe to reach out to some constituents. So we put you a step ahead of your male counterpart who is going to contest you. And so we use this as a motivation factor for our women. For instance, if you are going for national chairman of our party and you are a male aspirant, you pay 5,000 Ghana to this filing fee. Female aspirants will pay no filing fee.
Is this the first time the PNC is taking this decision?
Come again?
I'm asking if it's the first time the PNC is taking this decision.
No, I was going to say that you know that the PNC, since its inception, has always been gender sensitive. We've never asked women to pay, but it's important to always re-emphasize that this is what we have done. In our last Congress, women did not pay any filing fee for any of the positions that they contested. We allowed them to participate free of charge. All you need to do is to show proof that you are a member of our party for a certain number of years, and that is all that you need to do. And so we think that that way we'll be able to incentivize our women's folk so that they will participate fully,
but
only for the women's organizership position of the party, but that they could aspire within the PNC to become flag bearer of the party, to become national chairman, to become general secretary, to become anything that they want to. And so that is the thing that we have done.
Over the years, Mr. Mona, has it proven to be effective in getting more women aboard?
Well, a few women contested the last. For instance, Hajia contested for national vice chairmanship, and it turned out that she was the only person who even contested, because many other people thought that, look, she should be allowed to contest. And so that, we can say, encourage women. The next other level that we saw women contest in the last election was only at the women's organizer level. This time, possibly the fees have increased, but we also think that it will provide. We will keep doing it until such a day and such a time that women will participate. And that is why we want to call on you, the media and gender advocates, to encourage the women in our party who have capacity to take advantage of this and present themselves for elections, and let's see whether they will be elected on their merit or they will not be elected.
I see. Why does it seem as though there's a lot of focus on women ahead of the 2016 election? Is paying attention to the women the winning plan in the next election?
Well, as somebody would say, women are our mothers, they are our wives, they are our everything. They take care of almost every facet of our lives. And therefore, the place of a woman cannot be discounted in our national politics. That is why President Nkrumah would have to make room for 10 members of parliament to be women. This was a deliberate policy. And so women will have to play a pivotal role in our national politics. But it must be emphasized that it's not any kind of woman. There are some women that are up to the mettle that must be given the opportunity to participate. And so we want to incentivize our women group to participate. And I will not be surprised if you decide to become a member of the party and you will take advantage of what we have offered women.
Mr. Mona, I'm grateful for your time. Bernard Mona is General Secretary for the People's National Convention. Still ahead here on the program, Nigerians will on Saturday, March 28, go to the polls in a general election to elect a new leader or maintain. Good luck, Ebele Jonathan. I'll be right back. Don't go away.